You want to grow your practice. Well, there's many ways to do it, but in this episode, we're going to talk to you about the 4 stages that you have to go through to grow your business and your life. This is the 4 stages of chiropractic practice. Hi, I'm Lawrence Tam from lawrencestam.com. Like I said, this video we're going to talk about the 4 stages of chiropractic practice, which is important for us to think about because let's face it, I'm sure all of you have tried a whole bunch of things to really, grow your life, grow your business. And the ultimate thing is that in order for us to grow your business, you need to have ideas, you need to have the strategies, you need to have tactical things, and we do it. And sometimes when you apply that idea, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And the question is of course, you need to make sure that the idea or the strategy needs to have some context. And what I mean by context is that you need to make sure the person who's giving you the advice or the person who's giving you the strategy, it needs to be applied to exactly what you need. Because if you're applying a strategy that's up here, where you need to kind of go from here to here, that's not going to be really helpful. Or if you need to go from here to here and the advice is down here, it's not going to be helpful either. So this is why you need to have some bit of context of why or where the idea is coming from and who's actually giving it to you. So what happens here is that you need to understand that in any aspect of growth, you need to understand where you're going, right? Where you're coming from, and also what's in front of you. What are the obstacles that you need to kind of move ahead. So what I wanted to do is shoot a video today on really helping you really get some clarity on exactly how to understand where you are right now. And where you are right now is dependent on what stage of your career or your practice is in. And so what I want to outline in this particular video is the 4 stages of chiropractic practice. Now, this video was actually shot live in London, which was the last event I actually was able to do before this whole COVID happened. I flew right back, I flew into London for a day to speak at the UCA conference, and then I flew back, and then all of a sudden, COVID blew up and since been locked down ever since. So this video is actually a video of a part of the conference where I talked about the 4 stages of practice, which are really the startup practice that moves into a plateau practice, to the profit practice, and freedom practice. So I really hope that you enjoy this particular video. All right, so when I think about chiropractic, there's 4 stages. We all start with these 4. We start with this stage and we kind of grow. And as we grow, we kind of go 1 stage at a time. Awesome. Just going to try something. You're not going to see that in the back, are you? You're good? Okay. Oh, by the way, the other thing you should know is that I'm a terrible drawer. So 4 stages. First stage, we're in startup. Right? We all go through the startup phase. Where are the students again? Raise your hands. Right. You're going to just be about to go into startup phase. You're going to have to freaking hustle, right? That's what you got to do. You got to work really, really hard because at the beginning, you got to do everything. 3 major things you got to do is you got to have some structure in your life. What I mean structure is that you got to figure out how to be a chiropractor. In terms of when are you going to show up? How are you going to adjust? Are you going to adjust from the left side or the right side? What are you going to start? Cervical, lumbar, or thoracics? You're going to have to find some structure, and you're going to be different than what you thought you were when you were in school. The second thing you need to do is you need some skills. Now, I'm not talking about technique skills, right? I'm going to assume when you graduate, you're going to be good enough. I understand the need to learn more techniques. But the problem with learning more techniques is you have no idea which one to use. Master 1 or 2. Be really amazing at that. Now, I'm not saying you should, thank you. I'm not suggesting you shouldn't go to technique seminars, but be careful about learning too many techniques because you're relying on the technique to make you a great chiropractor. And the chiropractor's been around, Duncan, we were just chatting at lunch, 40 years. 40 years. Give him a round of hand. Seriously. I haven't asked him this, but I guarantee you it's not about technique. The skills that you need to learn is how to communicate. How do you communicate the things that's in here, what Heidi's been talking about, the things that's in here in your heart, to a patient that they actually understand, and the value they understand, not yours.
See, because the patient has a different worldview than yours. If we don't understand the patient's worldview, we're just communicating, we're just pushing chiropractic on people. Bill already led up to that. So startup phase, you need to develop some structure, some skills, and the third part is sprint. Sprint as fast as you can towards new patients, because that's what you need. I want a referral practice, but you have no patients to refer you to, right? Get as many new patients as possible. It's a little bit different when you have a bit of structure, but so when you actually have some patients, you got to get to as fast as possible. Don't wait until slowly down, because at some point, I remember thinking this in my career, it's like at some point I'm going to say, how can I stop using this excuse of being a new grad? Right? I'm a new grad. Oh, I'm on 2 years out. I'm a new grad. I'm 3 years out. I'm a new grad. 5 years, I'm a new grad, sort of. Like, when are you going to stop using that? I suggest you stop using it the moment you graduate. Change of mindset. So a second phase you got to go up to is what I call the standard practice, right? The standard practice is what we all have, or what most of our colleagues have. But the problem, which is perfectly fine, but the thing is that over time, you're kind of stuck in a plateau, aren't you? How many know, who are willing to admit, or at least know someone who's stuck in a plateau practice, where you just can't get past a certain point, right? You're stuck. It's not like you don't know what to do. Well, maybe that's what it is. Maybe you don't know what to do. You're stuck. That's the question I want you to ask in about 10 minutes' time. Let me help you, because you'll help someone else, I guarantee you, if you actually ask the question. The next phase is obviously into profit. Now, I know that's kind of like, oh no, don't talk about money. To me, profit isn't about money. Profit is what it stands for. In a business, we own a business. Let's face that fact. Okay? I know we want to help people. That's what we do. But in a business, what we're trying to do is create what? Value. Are we not? The more value we put out to the world, guess what? You have an exchange of value. And that just so happens in today's society, it happens to be a form of money. Maybe it'll be Bitcoin sometime, but not yet, right? Does that make sense? It's just value. If you take a 20, I don't actually have any cash on me, but if I took a 50-pound note, do you have 50-pound notes here? Yeah, okay. So if you have a 50-pound note, what is that? It's just an agreement that you and I, oh, hey, perfect. Thank you. Awesome, thanks. If you take, it's not 50. Damn, I thought it was good. No. So this is a 20-pound note. We have an agreement of what this value means, right? I'm an Australian. I don't even deal with pounds. But I can understand what this means. This is like $40 to us, right? So you use 20. So we have an agreement on this piece of paper. It's a freaking piece of paper, right? There's no inherent value in this piece of paper except for the value we agreed upon. Does this make sense? So if in order to get to a profit practice, it's not about earning more money. It's about putting out more value. The more value you can provide for people in exchange for the value in return, but you have to learn to accept those values because we're so shy from accepting value. Okay? You have to charge for your services, right? This is what this means. Thank you. That's what profit means to me. The next one after that is freedom. You don't have to go to that next level. But to me, there's a next level to me is freedom. The freedom to go, hey, you know what? I enjoy practice, but I also enjoy going away. Or I enjoy scaling and building more practices. Or I want to help more other chiropractors and have associates. Or you know what? I might just go, I enjoy doing something completely different. But I need the freedom to do that. Does this make sense? Because in profit practice requires you in it. In freedom practice, you need to remove yourself. You can still be there if you choose to, but it's not necessary. Does that make sense? So those are the 4 stages. And how you get from one stage to the other is not the same. So what I mean by that is how you get from here, which I kind of described, to get to here is not the same method to get to there. It's impossible. You're in a different level. And the same method from get to here isn't the same as here. What we need to figure out is where are you at and what do we need to do to get there?
Hi, my name is Dr. Rachel Swan. I have been in practice for about 18 years now. Most of that time I've been on the Central Coast in Erina, just north of Sydney. I joined Nitro about 12 months ago because I wanted to be with a group of like-minded people that would help take my practice into the next phase, which was to build more of a community feel, and so far it's been fantastic. So for me, I think the biggest thing is that I've had lots of stuff going on in personal life in the last 12 months, and so it's allowed me to deal with that and still keep my practice running and quite successfully. I've been out of the practice quite a bit and haven't been as engaged, but having that support from Lawrence and the other members has been amazing. So it's just allowed me to look after those aspects of life while still having a practice to come back to, and it's just lowered the stress levels immensely, just knowing that I've had that support. Big picture, we often tell our patients that they've got to strive for that balance between their work life and their family and their home, and I paid a lot of lip service to it before. It was very much sort of nothing to see here and everything's fine, whereas it clearly wasn't. So I feel like I've been a lot more congruent from that perspective, that I'm actually embodying those values that I think are important, and I think it's important for patients to be able to see that as well. I just think it's the best expression of myself. I want to be able to live my values, and I felt like that. I was to a point, but it's just enabled me to express, more of myself, and hopefully, inspire other people to make some shifts as well. I think the reason I joined was because I was feeling a bit isolated in practice, and I wanted to be part of, a group or a tribe, if you like, of people that thought like me and that inspired me and pushed me a little bit. It started a course of enormous personal growth. I've had practice growth over time, and certainly it's helped my practice growth. But it was sort of the catalyst for that personal growth, and just coming into contact with different people, and it would be just like, something so small and insignificant that someone would say, and that one thing has led to an enormous shift in. I can't even tell you how big it's been and how many areas of my life it's affected. So